Have you ever heard of the Dirty Dozen? Not the classic Lee Marvin war movie from the 1960s, but the Dirty Dozen of produce. So let's talk about it. Hey, it's Elise with Concerning Gardens and More, and I'm glad you stopped by. I'm located on the cusp of U.S. Planting Zone 10A and 9B. I've gathered up some different produce here. Now, not all of this produce is on the Dirty Dozen list. In fact, some of it is on the good list. But I want to just share a little of my research with you if you've never heard of this. I think most of us know that we're supposed to wash our produce. I mean, decades ago when I was in high school and taking home ec, we were taught to wash produce. My home, we always did it. My grandmother always did it. But I have visited homes of people who did not wash their produce. And I'm just saying that perhaps they have not been exposed to the fact that produce should be washed. So, let me share this little bit of research with you. I hope this tweaks your interest to do a little bit more research. Research over the last 20 years has indicated that a large percentage of our produce is contaminated with residuals of pesticides and other chemicals. And not only that, but with dirt, grime, insect carcasses, insect droppings. Gross, right? So this is a great incentive for you to grow your own food as much as possible. It's an incentive for you to take that few moments and clean your food. Now, I was always taught as soon as you get your stuff home, you clean it. You wash your produce. You dry it, bag it, cook it, freeze it, store it, however. That way it's all nice and clean. Just sharing a little bit here, folks. I hope it sparks your interest. All right. In 2004, a nonprofit organization called Environmental Working Group, EWG, started doing research on this. They analyzed data that they get from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA, and the Food and Drug Administration. And they do thousands and thousands and thousands of analysis. They have a really neat website, www.ewg.org, and all these beautiful color photos of what's on the Dirty Dozen list, what's kind of in the middle, and what's on the good list. Now, everything can have a small amount of residual. In fact, the government allows a small percentage of residuals. That percentage changes by what the chemical is. It changes by what the produce is. In 2024, according to EWG's findings, 75% of conventionally grown produce is produce that is grown with pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, and herbicides. So 75% had residues of potentially harmful pesticides. The CDC, the Center for Disease Control, has linked pesticides to many health problems. Now, this list changes every year. You can have a couple items dropped or a couple of items added. Strawberries are beautiful, loved strawberries are consistently at the top of the bad list, as is spinach. So you really want to make sure that you wash those. The 2024 list includes strawberries, spinach, greens like kale, collards, and mustards, grapes, peaches, pears, nectarines, apples. Oh no, my Granny Smith apple. Bell peppers, hot peppers, cherries, our beloved healthy blueberries, and green beans. Those were all on the 2024 Dirty Dozen list. Now, as I said, if you go to their website, then you'll see another section that they made tests on, and the produce doesn't fall either into the bad list or the good list. The least amount of residue, according to their website, were sweet potatoes, mangoes, onions, carrots, and many more. Now, again, items can be deleted or added. I know one year I saw potatoes on a list, and the next year it wasn't. So what can we do about this? Even if we grow our own produce, even if we buy local from farmers markets, from mom and pop stores, we can still have residues. We can still have dirt. We can still have droppings. Everything that you put in your mouth, if at all possible, needs to be washed. Numerous ways to do it. Now, according to the CDC, you should wash your hands first. It takes 20 seconds to wash your hands. You clean your surfaces. You clean your produce. You go back, you clean your surfaces again. I read a CNBC article, March 2024, and it said that the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, strongly recommends against using soap, detergent, or commercial washes to clean your produce. They didn't go into a great detail at that time. My presumption is that if your product has a little opening, a little hole, a bad spot, that some of that detergent and stuff could seep in. And you're still leaving a residue of your detergents. Now, some folks use diluted vinegar or diluted bleach or a baking soda product. And you can buy organic chemical washes. I sometimes use baking soda, especially on really rough skin products like avocados, because they're really, really rough. All I do is I wet my hand, sprinkle a light bit of baking soda in it, gently rub the avocados, let it sit a few moments, and rinse it off. Never rub hard enough to break your peel. Most articles I read said the best way to do it is simply running it under cold water. Don't soak, just run continuously for a little while under cold water. And I love this little rack. It's really neat. But you could put them in a strainer, a colander, and help yourself. You can use a paper towel. And as you're holding them underwater, you gently rub each each piece. Throw your paper towels away. You want dedicated towels if you're using regular towels. Citrus fruit can sometimes be a little coarse, so you might want to spend a little more time on that. Or like star fruit that has funny shapes, you want to get into that. Strawberries, you have to be extremely gentle. And if you're saving the foliage, say for a presentation, you want to lift that foliage up and make sure you clean underneath. Blueberries are very fragile. I find these strainers work very, very well. You can just spray them off in the strainers in a colander, let them sit and dry in it, and they're fine. Okay, see this label? And I did a video on PLU codes if you want to check that out. Before you start washing, take all these labels off. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but this label is all crinkled. It has air underneath it. So what can get in? Dirt and germs. Take all your labels off first. Throw your labels away, or unless you want to keep them for the variety name. And then, that way you're washing your whole item. Lettuces. I take every leaf off and rinse the leaf. I know it's a problem, but it really doesn't take but a few moments. I have gotten pre-cut lettuces in the poly bags, triple washed, and found grit in them. So, lettuces take a little bit longer. Greens take a little bit longer because you do want to wash each individual leaf. And greens, collards, mustard, turnips are on the Dirty Dozen top list. So wash each one. Again, even if you grow them, even if you buy organic, make sure that you wash. Okay. Not bad, huh? Takes a few moments. So I've got all these laid out. Like I said, some are on the good list, some are on the bad list. Some I couldn't find anywhere. They just kind of fell in the middle, maybe. I'm going to make some roasted vegetables. I'm going to make some apple and celery salad. And maybe some strawberry and blueberry shortcake. I hope this is something, again, that tweaks your interest. Maybe it will tweak your interest into growing your own fruits and vegetables as much as possible. Buy local, but clean everything up. Till we speak again, have a fantastic day.